They're getting a lot.
Is anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Keris is considered a cultural symbol of Indonesia, drawing its origins from Java during the 9th century. Forged by fire and symbolic of water, the Keris represents a powerful union of cosmic forces. Ancient Keris passed down through lineage, or those forged specifically for spiritual warfare, are believed to contain sentient energy, each with its own spiritual characteristics and temperament. Idris is a serious Keris collector, and I'm here to learn about some of his unique pieces.
Alright, I'll walk you through, I'll share with this first. So this is a Keris Surasak. So it's from Surasak, it's a Keris Choteng. Very much old resemblance of the hulu or the handle, also in English, from the Cirebon lineage. It has evolved from pre-Islamic to Islamic, and then it converted to Keris Tajong, which I will explain later. This is more to Thai already.
Okay.
If you can see here also, there are slight carvings here. It's actually yantra based. So in Thai, if you see their tattoo, their sakyan at the back, yeah, it's quite similar to this. So they have it's called a unalom, or a type of yantra. Okay, for this is a Keris Bali. You can see there's Vishnu riding on Garuda. So the carvings for this is amazing. And it's pierced through carvings.
Gorgeous.
So for this, I'll unsheath it and then you see. So for this is a lobe. How you count the lobe or the indentation or the curve is by this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is called a lobe 7 Keris. The Pamo is Kul Buntet in their native term. So it actually resembles or represents like anything that is sent to us, it can spiral and be sent back or countered back.
So all the black magic or negative thoughts, putting this Keris or having this Keris on you will send back to sender.
Yes, by right, for this Pamo lah.
Okay.
Okay, I have a few experiences from another owners, previous owners and other stuff. They mentioned that their Keris can shake or they wobble or they move by themselves when there's signs of warning, it warns them in advance. But the same thing may not happen to another person getting that same Keris. So there is a connection between the Keris and the owner.
Okay.
So this Keris can rattle by itself. It can give me warning, example. So if I sell this Keris to you, you may not have the same experience because there is a connection between me and the Keris. So it is something that is a bit more spiritual and it's interlinked between the owner. It's not about the Keris itself. Yeah.
So you mentioned once that a Keris finds you, not you find a Keris.
Yes. It's a calling. So when you come to a Keris or go close to a Keris, you can feel like there's an energy or it connects to you, like you know this is the right Keris for you. So that is one way where the Keris calls to you. Another is like have this Keris Cirebon. In a way, was passed down to me by a good friend, a fellow collector.
Okay.
So he got this Keris from Cirebon. This is from a royalty. So it was from a high lineage holder. It was passed down. He got it from him, and he felt there is not much connection with him and the Keris. So he feels like it's a bit different from the others. So he mentioned also that I think this Keris is more befitting of me to be his owner. Okay. Yeah. So these are some examples lah. The Keris comes to you. It don't come flying to you lah. This is a very, very rare Cirebon hilt. So it closely resembles that of a Tajong and a Choteng. I can show the representation. So the previous one I showed was this. If you see the resemblance from the front,
very similar.
Slowly from the sides, back. In the origin of Cirebon, the hulu is like a demigod or a devilish type of creature that is bounded on a stupa. So this is a stupa. So it sits on a stupa. So it's like guarding the area. So all have meanings like this. There's a snake. The necklace is a form of a snake. It has a janggut, also a beard, which can be predominantly seen in a keris tajung. I will share later with a keris tajung.
Looks more intricate.
So this is a tajung hilt. Wow. So this is an Islamic tajung hilt. So it covers all the forms of the deity or the creature. You can see. So it covers in floral. So this is a Malay keris. So this pamor is unplanned. So the pamor is called kulit semangka, which means watermelon skin pamor. So a very good friend of mine taught me this knowledge of reading the keris. So you can see things on the blade itself and it is unplanned. So it's not purposely made to have that design on the blade. You can see this thing. So there's an image. There's an eyes, nose, mouth and an ear and a crown or a horn here.
Okay.
Another form is a ghost-like entity. It can be seen from here. The eyes and it's like being pulled.
Yeah. Now some people would say, "Oh, this is pareidolia." You look at clouds, you look at
correct.
coffee.
In the scientific
it
aspect,
gives you
yes.
a certain vision, right?
Yes.
But is there any spiritual symbolism or significance to seeing this design?
For me, it's between you and the keris and how it connects or mean to you. Yeah. For me, when I got this knowledge, it kind of clicks like this. This is not a typical normal type of pamor, and it has a story or a meaning behind it. So it's up to the individual owner to understand more about the keris and to derive the actual meaning from it.
So would I be right to say that if I look at a particular keris like this, and maybe I didn't see the mask that you see,
correct.
but I saw something else, and that something else means something to me.
Yes, correct.
Straight away I connect it, regardless what people say and think and feel, I know what I saw,
Yes.
and that matters the most.
Correct.
Okay.
It's between you and the keris. So for some other collectors, they are not much into these mystical things. So for them, it is like, oh, this is maybe it is rubbish, or we are in Islamic, and then we don't believe in all these things. It is true also. It is true also. So it is to each his own.
Okay.
Because ultimately, it is your keris and it's what you believe in.
Okay.
Yep.
I understand.
This keris Bugis. So this is a Bugis keris. Okay, this is a very special keris because this is a keris made for me. I'm the first owner. Okay, the keris is from Panve Ilyas.
Okay.
It's very well known in the Bugis region. I challenged the Panve in terms of making the most number of lok, the curve, that he can master in one keris. So this was the first time someone like challenged him to the extent of making the best keris, and it's the best material that he can find.
Wow.
So it's the material is made of wase langgaro and lemeh sinangke. Wase langgaro is old battle axe. Lemeh sinangke is they take the blade from different keris, they melt it down and they incorporate that elements of the blade into the new keris. So it's the two of the best materials in the Bugis region that can be found.
And this battle axe and all that have gone into war, have tasted blood, and now they repurpose it into this keris.
Yes, correct. And on the surface you see it rusty from the old battle axe, but internally there's no rust. So it doesn't corrode.
Okay.
So it's a very mystical or intriguing material in the Bugis region.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yes, correct. You got it right. So it's also ganja ivas. That means there's no split of the ganja. The bottom we call it ganja. So it's one whole piece with the blade. So if you see from certain angles, it is bluish, a little bit bluish. That is
There
from
is a bit
the
of tinge, yeah.
yes,
Probably
correct.
the camera can't catch it, but
Yeah,
with the eyes you can see.
correct. It's hard to see in the camera. Yeah. So for beginners, for an actual keris, okay, there is a type of keris that is made to look like a keris, feel like a keris, but it's not an actual keris. So they use like bicycle chains and other materials. They just melt it down and they make the form of the keris. They just make the pamor. So those are called keris kodi, keris kodian. So it is cheap. It is 100 plus, so you can get it. Yeah, but those are not actual keris. For new
It's
beginners,
like a tourist,
something like that. So for new beginners, we may get cheated if you buy into the spiritual story, or this keris can fly, got these things and that things, and then you actually paid thousands to get a keris kodian, then you have been cheated already. Yeah, so for new beginners, you have to watch out lah. Don't get cheated for a keris kodian. So the actual keris, like an average keris, which is a made keris by the empu, can cost up few hundreds to 1,000 lah. The average type.
Yeah.
So depending on the material, you want to add silver or what type of material you use for the blade. You want to add in gold, more intricate carvings for the handle and other stuff. So it can cost up to even 7 to 8k per keris. Yeah. So another thing for keris Bugis, they like to use a longer type of pendokok. So pendokok meaning to say is this thing lah, the ring that supports the handle and the blade. Some keris collectors and some other Bugis people, they mention that because they like to hold it this way, in between the fingers. So the blade is out, connects to the center of your palm, so when you step in, it goes in. So it's something like Wolverine lah. Something like that. So even if it penetrates to your skin, it won't go through because of the design, the curve. So there's a cushion at the end when you step in. For the Malay type of keris, when we hold it this way, where we are pointing out our fingers, so it points out this way. So there's a slight variation. So it does not mean that keris Bugis you have to hold like that only. It's up to you. You want to hold it like this. Ultimately, we are not using it for war or combat also in this age and culture. Yeah. I think one of the story goes for the keris for actual war combat. It is used as a last resort. Yeah, so we rarely unsheath the keris or use it for combat purpose. Very rarely, unless it's a life and death situation. So example, you go to a war and maybe there is like your rivals, say your rivals are outnumbering you, and then suddenly you got backup. Then it's like a 50-50 chance already. Can I win or what? So it's between you and the keris whether to unsheath it or not. So when you unsheath the keris, which means you'll be fighting to the end. There is no way like, I unsheath it, sorry, I lose it, I put back my keris, I bow down, I kneel, please forgive me. No, it can't be like that. So it's a cultural thing. So once you unsheath your keris, it's similar like the Japanese katana. Yeah, so it's quite similar. So when they unsheath it, that means they have to go out for war. If there is no more weapons around and they are left with just their keris.
To the end?
To the end. Of course, in war, they will use other weapons. They will not be using a keris as a primary weapon. It's a stabbing weapon, so it's not a slashing weapon. Yeah. Okay. This is an actual war combat keris that has been through war. So if you can see the difference from other keris, this is actually meant for war from the sides. You see, it's extremely sharp. The sides are extremely sharp. It's tempered. It's very hard, and it's very, very sharp at the tip. Usually, practical blades less of the designs. It's more to practical blades. Yeah.
Do you know if this particular keris has killed people before?
Very likely. Yeah, very likely. Due to the blade and the history behind it, and there's a story goes also where this blade, whenever you clean it, the red rust or so-called the blood will keep appearing. So no matter how I clean it, it will be clean for a while and then it will reappear back again. So this is Empu Pauzan.
Oh, it looks very royalty.
So in Java, the two most well-known Empu Pauzan and Empu Jeno. So this is Empu Pauzan, this is Empu Jeno's keris.
Who are these people?
They are some of the pioneers in keris during the olden days, and they have reached like very, very high level and status. So when you mention their name, keris Empu Pauzan, keris Empu Jeno, you immediately know that it's very, very high-end keris already, and they are no longer around. So that the value and the pricing goes up extremely high. So this is Empu Jeno's. He only made, if I'm not mistaken, 7 Naga during his lifetime. One of it is with me.
So this is one of 7. Wow.
This is from the one Mustafa, keris one Mustafa or one Stopa. Also, this is like the Malay version of the Jeno and Pauzan.
Okay.
Yeah, similar in variety. Also passed on already. Yeah. So his is a
Black?
Malay. Yes, it's purely black.
It's a different metal again.
Yep. Intricate carving, very crisp and smooth his Keris.
Oh, this is very simple. Oh, there's a very minimalist
Yeah.
feel to it.
There are many more. So this Keris was found in the river. It was disposed of in the river, and the person collected it. Yeah, and it's not in the books. The dapo meaning the form of the shape of the Keris is extremely rare. And I nurse it back to health, to good condition.
The first time I got into contact with Idris was when he called me to view his collections in his old home after he had an uncanny encounter which he could not understand. Not knowing what we were dealing with, I called Guru Murali down with me to help communicate with the spirits in the Keris if required. It turns out that Idris, unbeknownst to him, had a gift passed down from his past life, and this Keris are drawn towards him. What would have been devastating for a layperson when coming into contact with that much conflicting confluence of energy was in fact very normal and natural to Idris. We discovered that the uncanny experiences that Idris had was him receiving messages from the other side to unlock his gifts. When he called me back this second time to his house, it was because he had received visions from two of his Keris to be kept by Murali and myself. Now, I had to sense which Keris belongs to me.
So this is a Keris Cirebon. It has Buddhist Hindu lineage. So it's a Naga Liman. The dapo is Naga Liman, which means an elephant, a Naga, and one more is what? Elephant, Naga. I can't recall. There's three elements inside. 3 animals inside. This is it's an old blade. Not that old. Yeah. It's an old blade. Extremely rare hilt.
What's the meaning of the hilt for that? Is this the...
Oh, this is also not even in the Keris book.
Oh.
It was photoed in a Keris book, but wasn't much explained on the actual hilt itself. So this is a very, very rare hilt. It almost represents like the dinosaur, the fossil. So it almost even looks like that.
The ratio of incremental spirals found within the Natalis is often cited as nature's perfect example of what is called the golden ratio or Fibonacci sequence, named after the Italian mathematician Leonardo of Pisa, better known as Fibonacci, in a book he wrote in 1202. The precise number is 1.618033399, represented by the Greek letter pi. The fascination with the golden ratio is not just for mathematicians. Artists, musicians, architects, even mystics have used the sequence in their works for years. In nature, the golden ratio can be found in stuff like the honeybee's family tree, sunflower seeds, pine cones, flower petals, human facial features, limbs, the structure of all our DNA molecule, leading to some people believing that the golden ratio is a sacred number to God's creation.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, this form can be seen, is a topengan. It can be seen in Bali and Cirebon. This is specifically for Cirebon.
I noticed this design, right? The topping you mentioned.
Correct. So this also kind of links to you because it's a dragon.
Oh.
Everything is a dragon. Naga. This is a very beautiful Javanese horn handle. And the blade, I think you will like it.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Serrated. So much like a dragon. Even just like, it looks like a tail.
Yes, correct. So this is a Naga. It's called a Viwade or Viwada. It actually represents thorns or spikes. There's 2 different type of version of this type of blade. One is a very hardcore extreme type of blade where the thorns are spiking everywhere, like it's not that neat. So there's the aggressive type of version, and this is the feminine type. Yeah, and this is one of the most beautiful ones I ever seen.
The energy from this, I don't know if it's my imagination or what, but it feels...
Okay, it's yours, Eddie. It goes to you. This was actually, I was planning to give you this also.
The same one?
The same one. Wow. This was actually planned for Murali.
Ah.
Yeah.
This has quite a Murali vibe to it.
Yeah, that's why. So everything was like predestined already.
So how do I take care of this? Like, how would you advise me to? Do I feed it blood?
Oh no! Okay.
I mean, where do you get this from? An origin of it, like
Then from Javanese. Yeah, only Javanese have this type of blade.
Okay.
Yeah, only Javanese for Viwade or Viwada.
I know for Javanese, the dragon is not a Javanese motif.
Yes, there is a form of Naga in a Naga blade for Javanese. It's called Naga Liong, Liong. So in translate is a Chinese Naga or an English dragon.
In various Asian traditions, Nagas are considered a semi-divine race of serpentine entities that reside in the netherworld or in sacred places on earth, especially near large bodies of water. According to legends, these beings can choose to interfere in mortal affairs. The most famous depiction of such benevolent act is Buddha sitting in meditation under the protective hood of a Naga, who is sheltering Buddha from the elements during his path to enlightenment. Interestingly enough, this wasn't the first time that I was told I had an affinity with Nagas in this life and the last. Between the two Keris, I felt a stronger connection to this one.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time, Idris, and for teaching us so much about what you know.
Yeah.
And this is the second time I see your collection, and both time I'm blown away and impressed. And thanks for this beautiful gift as well. Is there something I can give you in return for what's the tradition like? Is there
Nothing. Do that. Yeah, it's just purely me giving to you. That's it.
It's gonna go onto my shelf there where I keep important stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really don't feel good.
We're getting a
Is there anyone here? What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.